Wildcat Country, we are back again with another basketball preview show. We had Coach Goodrich on recently, and we have new head boys basketball coach. My friend, great to be here. He's joined me as a co-host on the show a few times. I'm sure you've heard him, but we have Coach Robert Wells, the one and only, and can't wait to dive in on how the offseason's gone for him, the transition from Brooklyn KC to Lexington, and how the team's shaping up. So, man, dude, let's dive in. So far, now that you're kind of into basketball season, you did help coach a little football. How have you enjoyed yourself so far as a Wildcat, and how has your transition gone?
It's been awesome. I think the best thing I always explain to everyone I speak to is about one word describes the transition, and it's a blessing. And when I say it's a blessing, it's just because simply how everything is kind of transforming to where we're at today, to be able to just work in your community where you live at, to work 5 minutes from your job.
Yeah.
My kids go to school 5 minutes from the school down the road. They participate in all the different events around in the community. It's a dream come true. And I've always stood on, to be successful at a program, you have to be into the community. You have to dive into the community. You have to live into the community. And I feel like I'm a part of Lexington High School community, not only just in the basketball environment, but also in the living environment, because I live here every day. But overall, it's been awesome. It's been a blessing. Great people at Lexington High School, great teachers, great students. The basketball program and the kids has been awesome. They work hard. It's been a blessing. I mean, I'm very excited. I wake up every morning with a motivation of I want to take on the challenge and be a part of the greatness of Lexington High School athletics.
Well, I can second that. He pops in my office about every morning, energy blazing. So he's ready to roll. Well, man, I know you weren't the head coach last year, but I do know, as with any coach, I've been 2-8 before my first year as a head coach, and there is kind of this mentality of when you do go through a down year or a year that you had higher standards, things didn't happen, throw whatever out there as reasons, etc. How do you go about kind of resetting the mindset, like back toward growth and like letting it go? Lexington basketball has, Coach Harris set a high standard, right? And that no one shies away from that. And we've won 3 state championships, played for a bunch of others. Coach Pope won one of those. Coach Harris won 2. Coach Harris also can tell you he had a super down year in like the mid 2010s, something like that, where they just didn't get it done and didn't have it up to the typical traditional standard of Lexington. So how has that part been for you, coming in trying to not only get your feet wet, but also, dude, you're competitive and you like to win, and these kids want to win too. So how have you kind of had to reshift and readjust the focus and the thought process of the kids to shake that crap off, all that stuff last year? This is how we're attacking now. Yeah,
I think it first starts with the leadership, and that's me. It starts with me. I have to be consistent. I have to show commitment. The kids are watching me. I'm the new coach, and they're looking at, okay, what do he bring? What is his energy? What is his commitment level? So it starts with me being committed and then pouring that into the kids. So along with me being committed, I also think that it's about speaking positive. I'm a really big positive person, getting the kids to believe that something can be done. Now, it doesn't just present itself, but you have to work towards it. But we're always speaking positive into our kids. Along while speaking positive, we're also working hard on the details and trying to build a culture of there's no shortcuts, and this is why we have to do it this way. And sometimes while you're building that, you have to give example of really good basketball programs around the state. Now, eventually you have to beat those programs, but one of the programs I always speak highly of is Dorman, who has a Lexington graduate as a coach. Mm-hmm. Then, Burns High School, they're very consistent. But speaking along those 2 high schools, I try to give our kids an example of what it should look like and what we're working towards. And I think you have to be able to give them a vision, but so they can understand why we're pushing so hard. So I think it starts with the leadership and me being committed and showing how invested I am into Lexington High School basketball program. The next thing is being consistent. I have to be consistent. Like, we cannot skip weightlifting workouts. We cannot skip practice. We cannot leave practice early because we just feel like it's just a nice day outside and we don't want to work. We have to be consistent, and then you're going to find kids who want to be around and kids that don't want to be around. But being committed and being consistent, and like I already mentioned, was that being positive, getting the kids to believe that something can happen. So a lot of times when I'm around the kids, I tell kids, we're going to win. And I say that word, we're going to win. Hey, bud, we're going to win. Hey, bud, we're going to get better. Hey, we're going to do this. Like, there's no in between. Getting their mindsets to believe that this can happen. And then the last thing I do a lot of time is preach the tradition of Lexington High School basketball. I want the kids to understand why when they put on the Lexington jersey, what they're playing for. And they're playing for the community in Lexington High School, but they're also playing for a lot of good teams and players who have wore that Lexington High School jersey, like you mentioned, from the 3 state championship teams, and plenty more teams who did not win a state championship that was very successful. But getting them to understand why we play hard at Lexington High School when it comes to basketball. Yeah. So I think when you put all those things together, from a commitment to being consistent, speaking positive, and understanding the Lexington High School basketball tradition, I think you have to push forward with those things. And then you're going to find kids that want to be on board, and you're going to find kids that don't want to be on board. And you got to find the kids that want to be on board and who want to commit and be consistent and love Lexington High School basketball and play for Lexington High School basketball and embrace the tradition of state championships and take that on to the court. And I think once we get those things together, we're going to see a very successful basketball program and team as we continue to move forward.
Right. Just yes or no. I know you're probably not where you want to be, but are guys starting to lean in the direction that you want them?
Yes. I feel like all the guys right now, I mean, from varsity to B team to JV, they're all committed. I mean, I really haven't dealt with a lot of discipline. Really haven't dealt with a lot of inconsistent, not being consistent. So right now we're on a good page, but I tell all the time, there's ups and downs in this thing, and we got to stay true to what we are and who we are, even through the down times.
That's right. Well, how has summer gone? I know that things have obviously changed since like me and you were in high school. There's a lot of play dates and showcases and tournaments, and I guess there's probably no tournaments, but play dates and recruiting showcases. Do I say that correct?
Yes.
Aside from AAU tournaments, but so what were some of your summer highlights, and just kind of how that thing looked to you, and just kind of your off season development? Well,
the first thing I learned in off season is, coaching at Lexington High School, there's no breaks. I can promise you, every tournament, every showcase or basketball camp that we went to, they scheduled us against the toughest team in the state of South Carolina at that time, which I can understand because, again, one of the things I spoke about was the tradition of Lexington High School basketball.
That's how we're looked at.
And that's how we're looked at to the outside. That's how we looked at when we go to camps. So we had no breaks. We played some really tough teams during the summer. But I kept telling the kids that it will only make you better. And that was tough because, the new coach, they want to see an instant gratification. They want to see the instant success. But that's tough now when you're going against coaches that have been at programs for 10 years, 5A schools. They've been very successful. Mm-hmm. They won 2 or 3 of the last state championships. And now we have to go take that on. But preaching to the kids, again, like I said, being positive, like this will make you better. We're going to win when we come to December, January, February. But this will make you better. But we had a lot of good tournaments, showcases that we played in this summer. A lot of good camps we went to. The kids got better while implementing and learning a new system. That was the greatest thing. That helped a lot. So looking to where we're at now in November, I think we're a lot further along than where we were in June. And that's a major step. That we're not walking in November just green. We've learned a lot in that time since June. And I think that's going to help us going into this tip-off tournament and going to some of the preseason games.
Yeah. Well, the strengths and things that you see in your team, you take your off season. You got some basketball kids in class, so you have had August and September and October to at least get some development. So taking all that into account, what are some of the strengths that you see in your program right now? But what are still some of those things? I don't want to say are weaknesses because I know that's not who you are. But what are some things that you're still trying to improve upon with this team?
Well, the first thing you're going to notice for anyone who attends Lexington High School basketball game, first thing you're going to say is, wow, that's the biggest team in Lexington High School history.
And I think Coach Harris has already told me that.
Yeah, so that is a major strength. Like when you see us, we're 6'11", 6'8", 6'7", 6'5". Yes, that's true. In high school basketball, we're 6'11".
There's some length.
6'8", yes. To to me, that's a strength because you can't coach height.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
there's a lot of that creates a lot of issues in passing lanes alone.
Yes. So I'm not complaining about that at all. That is a major strength that we do have. I think another strength we have is that we have some guys that can shoot the basketball pretty well. That's good. I think some of the things we have to improve on is playing hard, giving maximum effort. Every time we're on the court, we have to play hard, giving maximum effort, playing to win every possession, not taking possessions off on defense, being detailed, not just saying, hey, well, let's take these 2 possessions off, let's get the ball back to third possession, try to go score. No, like we're trying to be consistent. So trying to learn how to be detailed and consistent every possession of the game. We want to win every possession. And that's tough for kids in a new culture where a coach comes along and I'm very detailed and I'm asking for you to sprint to give maximum effort every possession when most kids want to take off 1 or 2 possessions. But we're not going to do that, and that's not what we're going to be about. So some of the weaknesses I would say is just improving on being consistent and playing every possession to win. We want to win every possession. Giving maximum effort, like selling out on defense, like giving all that you have. I would get you a break. I would get you a water break, but we're not going to take plays off. One of the things I always kind of stand on is this: when you watch a Coach Wells team play, whether we win or lose, I want you to walk away saying that team's they play hard. Mm-hmm. They play hard, like regardless of what the score was. They play hard. Like you saw guys diving on the floor. You saw guys taking charges. You saw guys giving maximum effort. At the end of the day, there's no excuse why that cannot be done every night we step on the court.
You know, it's clear how easy that is to see when a team really does it to the fullest. I remember it's a shout out to one of our district brothers. White Knoll came over here 2 years ago, in the state championship team. And I remember watching them play, and they gave us everything they could possibly muster. They were physical. They were diving for 50-50 balls. They're hustling on man-to-man. So you can absolutely – and we probably still won by 15 because that team was so talented, right? Yeah. But they left an impression, and I love that you talk about that because when you watch teams do that, it does leave a lasting impression for all fans. You're right, win or lose. Like when you play to that maximum level, fans walk away saying, God, did you see how they played?
Yeah, fantastic. And then it's enjoyment to watch.
Yeah.
Which means that, when you watch gyms that's empty, when you watch gyms that's half full, it's probably because the brand of basketball is not either exciting or the kids don't play hard. But if you play hard and you lose the game, fans leave saying, I'm coming back to watch that again. Right. Because somewhere they're going to turn the curve. They battle. And somewhere they're going to turn the table. And I want to be there to see them when they turn the table. Right. Because I see it in their grit. I see it in how hard they play. So, again, the scoreboard may not always be on our side, but we're going to play hard. We're going to play hard to when people leave the gym, whether we win or lose, they say, hey, I like watching that team play. I'm going to come back and watch them again.
Amen. Well, we talk about strengths and stuff. I do know that we obviously have a lot of kids at LHS, and so you have a lot of kids that try out for basketball, et cetera. Just talk to me a little bit, 2-feeder middle schools. How does your sub-varsity depth look? Are you proud of where y'all are? Do you feel like it's a bright future from a talent standpoint and ability standpoint? If you cast the net out 3-4 years from now, what's Lexington basketball looking like?
Well, I will say this. When I took the job and they told me about the 2 middle schools, and I was like, wow. So you tell me I had one middle school around 1,200 students and another middle school pushing between 800 to 1,000 students, and they both have 7th grade only teams and 8th grade only teams. And then you have a B team and you have a JV. I was like, wow, we can win here. Mm-hmm. And we can win here for a very long time. In saying that, the 2 middle schools are really good. I mean, they're pushing really good kids out. I saw a lot of kids this summer. We did a youth basketball camp. So a lot of kids from Pleasant Hill and a lot of kids from Beechwood came over for the basketball camp. I saw them. I visited Beechwood a little bit during the summer when they had a camp. So I got to meet a lot of those kids in 8th grade. Our 9th grade class right now is outstanding. Really talented 9th grade class. And we had to leave some kids out. I mean, we had somewhere around 40 kids try out just for 9th grade basketball. Wow. And we had to narrow it down to 15 kids. The JV program is been pretty decent. They're doing good. I mean, right now they have some kids that can play. One of the things last season, we did not complete that roster with 15 kids. Mm-hmm. I don't like that again, but I wasn't a coach at the time. But one of the things we're not going to do here is that kids going to start in B team, and they're going to start the season in JV, and I expect for them to complete that season.
Yeah.
I think all of my coaches always told me, regardless of what sport you coach, is that you want kids to start and you want kids to finish, whether they're playing a lot or whether they're not playing a lot. Mm-hmm. But you got to make it fun and excitement for even for the ones who don't play a lot, that they feel like they're still a part of the team.
They want to embrace
and they
role.
still want to be in the program.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my priorities right now with my younger sub-varsity teams in 9th grade and 10th grade. I'm telling my coaches that I want 15 kids to start and I want 15 kids at the end of February. Regardless of how much they play, regardless of what they're doing, I want to make sure it's enjoying and exciting. We cannot afford to lose kids in this program. And that's where we kind of lost kids a little bit in the sophomore class right now, in the 10th grade class with the JVs, that even though that team is going to be pretty good, but we did not have a full healthy number of kids coming back a part of that class. But then again, you know, we're that's my job to kind of catch it up and get it back to where it's needed to be. But the JV team is going to be really good. The B team is going to be really good. And I'm very excited about the future of Lexington High School basketball here. I mean, you have numbers, you have kids. Again, is the leadership willing to work? And I'm the leadership. and I can bet you, I live 5 minutes down the road, and I keep saying that because that means a lot. You know what I mean? I can get to this school in no time to work kids out. I can get this school in no time to come watch my B team play, my JV play, watch them practice. And that means a lot. And I've seen coaches in all my years of coaching, regardless of what sport, the ones who are right down the road or very close to the school, they have a major, major, major impact on their entire program because of their ability to get hands-on and get right there in the middle of everything that's going on outside of their varsity team.
Yeah. Well, you've had a couple scrimmages so far this preseason, correct, 2?
Yes, 2.
And so just kind of talk about how those went, who you went against, and maybe a few handful of players that maybe have popped a little bit.
Yeah, so we started with Fox Creek. Fox Creek was a very tough team. I think they came out maybe number 4 in 3A basketball earlier this week, but it was really good scrimmage. I mean, I think they probably got us, but we played hard. It was a different speed. They played 4 or 5 guards. Our kids played hard. We didn't knock down shots, but again, it was the first scrimmage. And the coach always told me that you see the biggest difference between the first scrimmage and the second scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And I surely saw that. We scrimmaged Lugoff Elgin Monday night, and it was a totally different team. But again, against Fox Creek was the first time those 15 guys went to the court together to complete a task against another opponent. And then I saw a difference in Lugoff Elgin, look more comfortable. The mistakes that they made the first game, they didn't make those mistakes. So we want to just keep building upon that. Again, we have Camden coming up in the scrimmage. And that'll be another great challenge for us to kind of get on the court and get better before we get into the Lake Murray tip-offs. But overall, the scrimmage has been really well. Some guys that kind of stand out while we're talking about that is Peyton Miles. He's a transfer from American Leadership Academy, 6'5". He can play the game of basketball. He was all-region last season at that school. Jeremiah Howard is another kid. Can shoot the basketball very well. He's probably one of the top. I would say probably one of the top 5 shooters in the state of South Carolina. Wow. He can flat out shoot the basketball. When he get going, he can shoot. We had another kid named DJ Matthews. DJ Matthews, originally from Lexington, family relocated to Oregon, somewhere around middle school, right prior to middle school, and now he's relocated back here. So he's a Lexington, grew up in Lexington. He knows a lot of kids. He's going to be really good with the ball in his hand at the point guard spot. Currently, Sam Mills is out. Everybody knows Sam. He's 6'10", 6'11". He was part of the state championship team when he was in 10th grade. He's currently out with an ankle injury, but he's projected to be back the first week in December. He's going to help a lot. He's a big body. Another kid named Reagan Bryant is about 6'7", 6'8". He played JV last season. He's really good. He's tall, long. He can play. So we got a lot of different pieces I think that's going to help. Again, we have a lot of good size, have a couple guys that can shoot the basketball. We got to just be consistent. We got to be consistent, and we got to come together and play Lexington High School basketball. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your scrimmage against Camden. That's coming up. So after that, I guess next week starts the Lake Murray tip-off, and this is the first year combining guys and girls, correct? So just give a little plug for that. Tell the community when they can come out, which days next week if they're having staycation for Thanksgiving. When can they come out and watch both our teams?
Yeah. So first with the Lake Murray tip-off, I'd like to get a shout out to the Hall of Fame coach Bailey Harris. I mentioned that the other day that, many people don't know, but the Lake Murray Tip-Off is the longest standing tournament or basketball showcase in the state of South Carolina.
Oh, how about that?
33 years. Nobody else has been going for 33 years. So a lot of credit goes to Bailey Harris and what he's done with that, and to try to continue that on is awesome. This is the first year we included girls. Coach Goodrich and her program has been outstanding. She's been very successful coach at Lexington High School, and she's gonna be a part of the tip-off. So if you want to come out, girls gonna start Monday, Tuesday, along with boys. Girls games will start at 3:30 and 5 o'clock. The boys games will start at 6:30 and 7:30. We will play at 7:30 against South Aiken. Our girls will play at 5 o'clock. I don't know exactly who they're playing against. I think Fox Creek. So then Tuesday we'll play again at 7:30 again, and then the girls will play again at 5 o'clock. So Monday and Tuesday, the Lexington girls and boys will play at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. But the first games will start at 3:30. And then we'll finish on Wednesday, just boys only, and the boys will play at 12:30 that day. The first game will be at 11 o'clock, and then we'll play at 12:30. So very excited about the opportunity. This is my first time being a part of it. I watched it from afar, just being a coach in the area, and I'm very excited to kind of take it on and have a hand into continue the success of the Lake Murray Tip-Off.
Yeah. Well, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I know we have a big play day with all 5 teams here against Spring Valley, a couple other opponents. But then over Christmas break, we have I think it's kind of a big deal. I'm excited about it. Yeah. You had started years ago the Casey Roundball Classic over at Book and Casey, and that's your baby. Coach Harris's Lake Murray Tip-Off, right? Well, you're not just going to pass that off to somebody because he retired. You didn't.
Yeah.
So you have now brought that over here, and it's now the Lexington Roundball. So, man, this is your opportunity to go ahead and plug that and maybe highlight a few of the big-name teams that are coming. And what's the format of that? What's the dates? And what can we expect to enjoy ourselves starting on December 26th?
Yeah, so the Lexington Roundball Classic, you got to forgive me if I ever mentioned Casey Roundball Classic.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times myself, just to be honest with you.
I've hosted for 6 years over at Brook and Casey, so the name change is kind of different. But all in all, we always say the Roundball Classic.
There you go.
And we kind of just stand on that sometimes. But the tournament's December 26th through the 28th. Very big tournament. I would consider it probably the number 2 tournament in the state of South Carolina right now.
And it is a true tournament, not just a showcase.
It is a true tournament, and I stand on that, and I'm very proud to say that because as you watch the landscape of high school basketball, many people are going away from the tournament style. And the reason why they're going away from the tournament style is because you lose the matchup sometimes. So if me and you put a showcase together, we can put the exact teams we want to build the matchups for the people.
Sure.
But I grew up with the old school basketball coaches, and I want teams to compete over a course of 3 days for a championship.
You want to win.
Yes. I want to see, can you show up 3 consecutive days to win the championship?
It's a playoff precursor.
Yes, it's a playoff. So that's why I've always kept the tournament style, and I'm always keep the tournament style because I feel like it just brings a little bit more behind it and stuff. So that the Lexington Roundball Class, again, is that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Christmas. We will normally start by 12 o'clock the day after Christmas. Try not to go too early. Give family time. But then as we get into Friday and Saturday, things will pick up. There's some really good teams coming. I think the other day I was looking at the South Carolina High School Basketball Association put out rankings 2 days ago, and I counted 9 out of 16 schools are ranked in the top 10 of their classification that's coming, and we had somewhere around 7-8 kids who were either ranked in the top 5 of their classification that's participating in it. And that starts with we have one of the elite kids, which is Coach Fowler's from Burns, and his dad is the head basketball coach at Burns, and Burns is preseason ranked.
Love Coach Fowler.
Yeah, Burns is ranked like preseason number 2 in 5A, I think. Really good team. They're going to be tough. If you kind of stay in that area, we have Teal Hannon. Teal Hannon has a kid about 6'11", commit to Augusta State University. They're coming. Malden High School came out. They're ranked number 7 in 5A Division I basketball. They will be here. You go up into the Aiken County area, you got North Augusta. North Augusta came out preseason ranked number 2 in 4A basketball. They have 2 kids ranked in the top 5 in 4A basketball. They will be around. You got Fox Creek, who's number 4 in 3A basketball. You have locally, you have Dutch Fork High School. Dutch Fork High School came out. They're in our region, and they're ranked number 5 in 5A Division I basketball. And as you keep traveling, you can go back into the Rock Hill area. We have Fort Mill High School. Fort Mill's coming. Fort Mill came, and they're ranked top 10 in 5A basketball. In that same area, you have Indian Land. They'll be coming down. They're tough. And then we have one team coming from the beach, which is Loris High School. And a lot of people don't know a lot about Loris High School, but if you look at the preseason rankings, Loris High School lost in the Lower State Championship last season. They returned everybody, and they're ranked number 2 in 3A basketball. So, and they have a top 5 kid in 5A basketball. So it's going to be very competitive. It's a big event. I'm very excited about it. I've been doing it for the last 5 or 6 years. I would like to say I have a committee, but I think I'm probably the only person on the committee. But I take a lot of pride in that. And believe it or not, we have wait lists for teams. We pick teams like in February. So like you see the timing of everything now that we'll have the tournament in December. February, the season will end, and we will already have 6-7 teams for the following year. And as we keep moving throughout the spring, we start to narrow teams down, and we start sending out invitations, because it is an invitation-only tournament that we have. And teams don't have – there's no entry fee. So we don't – they just come as – I mean, you just come, and we don't have to pay an entry fee. The team don't have to pay an entry fee, but we do have gate fees from that standpoint. But it's been very successful. I'm very proud to bring it to Lexington High School. I think it's going to be really good for our community. I think people are going to enjoy watching high-level basketball. There will be 8 to 10 college coaches. Once you get to like the night games, we'll have big matchups. They will be in here normally every year. Lamont Parish staff makes their way into it. The last 2 or 3 years, they brought 3 or 4 coaches over and watch games. So I think it's going to be very exciting. Currently, we're going to match up against Malden. We're very familiar with Malden. Malden knocked us out the playoffs last season.
That's right.
So
it was a really good team.
Yeah,
really balanced team that could shoot the ball and penetrate.
And they brought everybody back. So it's going to be very challenging. But we will play that Friday night at 7:30 versus Malden High School. And I just thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of go against a team that knocks us out the playoffs. Yeah. And we'll kind of see how it goes. So very excited about the opportunity. To all the businesses and people locally, we'll be. I think you'll be. There'll be a lot of teams in the area during that time. Maybe 5 or 6 some be staying overnight in the Lexington area. So you'll see them in passing. They probably be coming in and out of your business and stuff from that standpoint.
Excellent. Well, all right. So we got round ball. We know that we got a tough region. You guys, Dutch Fork, Irmo, White Knoll, Chapin, River Bluff. There are not a lot of off nights. There's a lot of good coaches.
Yes.
There's a lot of great players. I know Coach Jones over there, another L-Town grad. Along with Coach Ben Lee. Brett's probably got the team that's, you'd say, preseason favorites, I guess, to win the region, especially if you go off preseason rankings. So really excited about that. But not really getting into the weeds of region specifically, but just, Coach, like what's your expectations for the team this year as we close this thing out?
I might sound crazy, but, the expectation always starts at the top of state championship and region championship. Mm-hmm. Now, after that, if you don't get those things done, the final thing is that we just need to play hard. Mm. If those things are not checked off, when I look back at the season, I'm going to ask, did we play hard in all our games? Did we present a challenge to our opponents? And if we did that, then we did our job. But, the goal is going to always stand, because we're part of a championship tradition. And not just in basketball, but in the athletic department.
That's right.
And I'm not lowering those standards for a season. I'm not going to lower those standards for a program. And whether we reach those standards today or this season or not, at least the kids know where we stand at. At least the kids understand what's the standard of Lexington athletics. And the standards of Lexington athletics, when I read the mission statement right outside the office where we're podcasting at right now, is championships. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And so the standard is win the state championship, win the region championship. Those are the 2 championships that you can win. So that's where we stand at, and that's the bottom line, outside of just playing hard.
Well, I can't wait to really dive into the games. I won't be at the Lake Murray. I'm going out of town with family for Thanksgiving, but as soon as we're back, I know I get to watch it. I was at the scrimmage the other night at home against Lugoff, and did enjoy seeing the kids and seeing the intensity. So, man, there's nothing. I'm a football coach, and I love packed stadiums on Friday night. but a dang packed basketball gym is pretty intense too.
Oh yes,
and I can't wait to do that. I know you and I got some great ideas for kind of fan engagement and student engagement. Can't wait to bring you back early December, as probably have you and Coach Goodrich on with a couple players, and be able to kind of preview the first home big. We might do one right before Spring Valley, since we're going to have everybody, all the teams playing. So we'll come back with everybody again that day and tell our students kind of some of the things that we're going to have going on. We really look forward to it, Coach. Best of luck to you, dude. I love you. Can't wait to watch you have the kids get after it. So anything else you'd like to say in closing? Nah, that's it. Just come out and support those Wildcats. This winter, Coach Goodrich does a great job with the girls basketball program. A exciting basketball brand that she has. We're going to have a very exciting basketball brand. Bring your kids out. Bring your family out. Bring grandmom out. Bring uncle, aunt. And let's come together and let's make this a very successful basketball season. Amen. Well, hey, that'll wrap up today's episode. Little basketball preseason preview. And can't wait to see everybody in the gym here at Lexington High School coming up real soon. Thanks. Signing off. Hail to thee.